Today's show is brought to you by The Pine Cone. Fine food, full bar, where history dances.
Oh, I don't know about you, but most of us, we kind of overindulge during the holidays, maybe gained a few pounds. So I have a magician on today, and she's going to tell us how we can eat more, feel fuller, and shed pounds. Yeah, I'm not kidding. The Food and Nutrition Coordinator for the Humane Society of the United States, Josephine Morris. Great to have you back with us, Josie.
Thank you so much, Sandy, for having me today.
I tell you, you are my friend, so I want to know how in the world can we do that? Because sometimes you get on, let's say, a diet or to get back to where you were before the holidays, and you feel like you're starving and you're always hungry, and you want to, and then you start eating candy or something weird. But no, you have a secret. How do I do this?
I've been there myself, and for me, I tend to be a carbaholic. So when I get hungry, I start eating a lot of bread, and of course, those things aren't great for our waistline.
Right.
So what I'm going to show you here today is how by swapping animal-based foods, like your typically meat and cheese and things like that, for plant-based foods that have a lot of fiber in them, how we can actually feel fuller longer and thereby eat less calories.
Nice, because it seems like a salad just will go away.
Just doesn't do enough for you.
Yeah, you say, oh,
right.
I feel so good, I ate a salad, and then you're hungry like half hour later. So, okay, well, and I know you're going to give us this example of tacos, which who doesn't like tacos?
I know, everybody loves tacos,
Yeah.
and in Arizona, it's almost sacrilegious not to be eating tacos at least once a week.
It's true.
So,
well, let me ask you this, because normally we have beef or chicken, but what's if we do this plant-based like you're going to show us how to do, is that calorically better? I mean, how is that? Will we lose weight more? I mean, it's not as fattening? What?
Yeah, absolutely. All of those things. So what I'm going to show you here today is a chili quinoa taco, which will have beans in it as well as quinoa. And because it's high in protein, it actually helps boost our metabolism, so that helps us burn a little bit more calories. And it also helps reduce hunger. And then when you add the fiber on top of that, and only plant-based foods have fiber, animal products do not contain any fiber. So when you add things like the beans or the quinoa that are high in fiber, it actually makes you feel fuller. And when you feel fuller for longer, you eat less. So you're less likely to binge on all of those carbs and things like that that you might want to eat.
Okay, now you've made up, this is quinoa, right?
That is quinoa.
It's so cute. It's like brown quinoa.
It is. Quinoa is actually a whole grain, but it's called a whole grain, but it's actually a sprout. And as you can see here, this is quinoa as it would come in a bag or a package. And then yeah, it is. It's just a teeny little sprout. And then when you cook it, like this is quinoa cooked for about 15 or 20 minutes, you boil it with water, and then you just let it simmer just as you would cook rice or any other grain. You can see that it fluffs up nice and fluffy, and you can see the little end of the sprout there.
No, it still has just kind of almost a little nutty texture. Or
it is a little bit of a nutty texture. And you can get it in white quinoa, you can get it in black quinoa, and you can also get it in red quinoa. So for the purposes of these tacos, I went with the red quinoa because it looks kind of meaty for this sense. And then what we would do is just add some beans. This is a tri-bean blend, but you could actually add any kind of like canned chili, or if you have chili one night, this is a great way to use the leftovers the next day.
Oh,
you just take
black beans.
Right.
I know a lot of Mexican food, we like the black beans in it.
Exactly. Any type of beans that you like to eat yourselves, you just mix right in there, and you can see that it gets like this nice meaty sort of texture here. And that's
really
what we will use.
I like it. This is tricky though, because you have the 3 beans or whatever, the bean
actually,
mixture.
it comes in a can together, which you can see over here. So it's very easy. You just rinse them and put them all in there.
Okay.
Of course, some people like to, make their own beans, which is something you can definitely do.
Okay.
But you can see this gives us a very hearty texture.
So this is your base, which would normally be
base,
like
right?
hamburger or chicken.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is what we would use instead of ground beef, and you would just layer it in there with your taco. You can add some onions, which are also, a plant-based food and very good for you. Tomatoes.
They smell good. Actually, I like the smell of onions.
I do too. This is an avocado sour cream. So here, instead of using dairy products, we're actually substituting avocados. You just put a little lemon juice, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a pinch of salt, mix it up in a blender, and then you have an avocado sour cream. And the benefit of this is actually a food that would help like prevent cancer or heart disease. Whereas when you're eating dairy products, you're sort of contributing to that inflammation and things like heart disease and
the
stroke and
avocado
diabetes.
is just touted as
Amazing.
being like so good for you.
Absolutely. One of the best foods you can possibly
Now we have to say this recipe for both the avocado sour cream and the tacos are on our will be on our Facebook.
It will be on your Facebook
Yes, on
page as well as
AZTV.
your AZTV7 website.
So take a look at that, everybody, if you want to try this at home.
This is a little bit of mango salsa that I just like because it adds a little sweetness to it. And then, of course, you can top it with some lettuce or anything that you would like.
Now, does that mango salsa, does that have tomato stuff in it too? Or
It does, and it has some mangoes. I mean, it's like your typical salsa. It just has some mangoes and a little bit of extra sweetness to it.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, wonderful.
So you can see this is one taco, and a serving would be 2 tacos. So if we were to compare that to, say, a ground beef taco, would you say that the ground beef taco has more fat or the quinoa bean taco might have more fat?
Well, you know, I would go with the beef just because generally you always have, when you cook beef, you have grease and stuff. So probably it's more calories and stuff.
It is. It's both, actually. It's more calories and it's a considerable amount of more total fat. So you could actually eat 2 of these quinoa bean tacos for only 3 grams of total fat.
Wow.
Which is really amazing.
It is. And how much protein? I mean, you're getting a whole bunch, as you were saying, more protein.
A cup of quinoa, which you might have with 2 tacos combined, will give you like 8 to 10 grams of protein. So you do have a high amount of protein, and then you add in your beans. So it's a very filling, satisfying dish that will fill you up, but you don't have the baggage and the health implications that you would by eating beef, which would, in comparison, be about 13 grams of fat for 2 of the exact same tacos if you just substituted the meat.
I'll tell you, this is a great way to go for the new year because, you know, we kind of want to get back to the weight we were in let's say, before Thanksgiving.
Right.
But also healthier. I mean, we're talking health. This is actually so much better for you. I love your little taco holder. This is so magic.
Thank you.
Right here,
I love it
because
too.
sometimes tacos, they don't stay together so well, so that's very cute.
Right.
Josephine Morris, this is a great idea. Thank you so much for joining us. The Humane Society of the United States Food and Nutrition Coordinator.
Thank you so much.
They think of everything besides taking care of our animals. Thanks so much, Josie.
All right,
Delicious.
thank you.
Can't wait to try.